Well, yeah, they can do something without the Congress as they are. At the end of the day, the system is not designed to stop executive action swiftly. It's a process that goes through the courts, which will take years. And by that point in time, what's done is kind of already done. I think Democrats need to do a better job of articulating to American people why this stuff should matter to them. If this becomes a debate about shrinking the size of government, shrinking the size of the federal workforce, the Democrats will lose that fight. Republicans and most Americans already believe the government's too big, it's bloated, it's inaccurate,
right,
it's
so
inefficient,
what's the argument,
it wastes
then?
money.
What's the better argument?
The better argument is we need the Department of Education because without them, the resources you as parents rely on, after school kid programs at public schools, sports teams that are funded at schools because of the Department of Education, you have to make it personal. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to win the day. I'm saying a better argument to make is why it matters to your school district, your family, your municipality, not the big overall arching federal government.
It does make an interesting point, a wider point, Denise, that the Democrats, and they know this, I guess, maybe that's why they're doing things like this. I don't know, to Kurt's point, if it's effective or not showing up. They're in a tough spot. Not only are they in the minority in both houses of Congress, they have a president who's being very aggressive with the executive actions, but they have issues. To Kurt's point, if they're, it's like you have a poll. Sometimes it depends how you ask the question. If they're framed the right way, they put them in a tough spot. Foreign aid, I'd add to the list, where if, again, framed the right way, people might say, yeah, that's a great idea. It can counter China. But if not, other people say, why are we spending all this money? And that's the argument I think President Trump wants to have, Denise.
Yeah, I mean, they really need to hire Kurt. I think Kurt's one of the smartest people in Washington, D.C.
Who, the Democrats or the Republicans? Because he's willing to work for either side, as he's shown over the years.
Yeah, I've heard that. We'll take you back, Kurt. I think it's so much more powerful to be for something than always be standing against. This obsession that Democrats have with Elon Musk and Donald Trump does nothing to tell the American people, what they're actually for. There is no articulation of a vision or a message. It's the same thing Kamala Harris dealt with on the campaign trail that failed her so much. And I just think that they're caught up in their own hype. There's this echo chamber in the Democratic Party that they can't seem to escape, and they're not even trying. So why should Americans, look at them and say, wow, like you really have an answer? I can tell. They don't. They have zero message. They haven't had a message. There's so much infighting with the Democratic Party that it makes a Republican like me happy to sit back and watch them continue to fail. But,
But you're okay with all the way it's being handled, though, Denise, to be serious, as a Republican, you're okay with all of this, the way Musk is actually handling it, even if it's, defeating the Democrats politically or the Republicans are winning the day. You're okay with the way it's being actually handled and carried out?
I don't know how I feel about Elon per se. I think that the way he's doing it is so jarring to the way things are done in Beltway politics that I think in ways it's refreshing and in other ways it's a little concerning. But I think that all Americans spoke in this election. This is not just something Republicans stood for. We're so tired of business as usual in Washington, D.C. That's why they elected Trump. And they knew what they were getting with Elon. They may not have known the extent to which it would be done, but Republicans have been saying the very things Elon's been doing for so many decades with zero effect. And Americans are done with a lot of hot air and zero action.
He's on the cover of Time magazine, and I was thinking about this earlier. I said, well, if this was years ago, this would be a big deal. Newspaper or magazine covers were a big deal. But Donald Trump's president, so it probably is still a big deal because his office on Fifth Avenue used to be decorated with covers of Time magazine, except he was the one on the cover. I wonder about how he feels about this, Kurt. Let's find out. Here's the president earlier today when he was asked about it.
Is Time magazine still in business? I didn't even know that. Elon is doing a great job. He's finding tremendous fraud and corruption and waste. You see it with the USAID, but you're going to see it even more so with other agencies. He's wanted to be able to do this for a long time. When you look at USAID, that's a fraud. The whole thing is a fraud. Very little being put to good use. Every single line that I look at in terms of events and transactions is either corrupt or ridiculous. Money's coming in from tariffs, et cetera, et cetera. But he's doing a very good job. I'm very happy with him.
Doing a good job, this Elon Musk, says President Trump. Kurt, Trump and Musk, big story, right? And the interaction between the two and all that. I don't know if he's angry or not about the cover. Doesn't matter. Here's what is interesting. Musk just posted the following on social media, on X, of course. He says that DOGE employee, you probably remember the story, the people who don't, who had resigned after there were racist posts linked to him, he had posted some time ago, will be rehired. The quote from Musk, he will be brought back. To err is human, to forgive divine. Kurt, thoughts?
First of all, I have a huge problem with anyone being sanctioned by the federal government, by the president of the United States, by the vice president, who said things like, I was racist before racism was cool. That's not a human error. That's not a, I made a mistake. That's a deep underlying feeling that really reveals what lies beneath your own soul. And I think that should trouble anyone, that's someone that's being heralded up here, someone that we should bring into the government. That's not what our country should be about. But I think the broader issue here is we have an unelected, unaccountable person effectively running the federal government right now. There's no check and balance here. And I can tell you, as a former Republican who worked at the Oversight Committee, if Barack Obama had hired George Soros to go through the entire federal government and shut stuff down, we would have lost our bloody mind.
You said that the check and balance is the court system, right, though, which you said earlier, and we've seen that this week. There is some check, Kurt, to be fair, on Musk. He can't just do whatever he wants. I mean,
but the complete abdication of oversight by Republicans in Congress is a complete contradiction to everything that they said they stood for when they had the oversight power when Barack Obama was president.
Denise, any thoughts on this DOGE staffer story? Because again, it plays into everything this week with Musk, who is at a point right now where he thinks he can probably do or say anything he wants.
Well, in a way he can, but let's just be really clear. Kurt and I are in violent agreement on the fact that racism is disgusting no matter what side of the aisle you're on, and it shouldn't be tolerated. But here's the thing. Elon Musk, even at the low point of his popularity right now, has 39% favorability in what he's doing. And that is still, I might add, because I can do a little bit of math, 14% higher than anyone in Congress right now. And so what are the checks and balances that are going to be there? I think most Americans are saying we want more accountability in the way our hard-earned taxpayer dollars are being used, and we can walk and chew gum. We can do hard things. We can look at, these budgets and say, let's cut things that don't make sense and still move our country forward in a more efficient way and get a better ROI on our hard-earned taxpayer dollars. So I know the way it's being done seems jarring, but I think the things that are being done substantively are the right things.
The only person who's going to get a good ROI out of this is Elon Musk's bottom line. And that's what I think is going to be the Achilles heel to what's going on in the long run. But just to end on a positive
his net worth,
moment,
by the way, does look pretty good.
To end on a positive moment, I just got to say, it's the first time I've been on with Denise since she got engaged. So I just want to say congratulations, Denise. I'm so happy for you.
Congrats, Denise. Very nice. See that? That is a positive way to end. Can't we all just get along?
Love.
Congratulations, Denise. That is actually very, very good news. All right.